Welcome back to BVarsity Live. We're having a good time in here. It's Friday. It's 5:15. It's like happy hour in here. Yeah, we just have water.
This is a different type of happy
Yeah,
hour.
I promise it's just water.
I got a cup down here.
Okay. Bailey's and coffee. Sean McKeown of Independence. I had to see where we were. I know who you are, though. You've been there a while now.
Oh, yeah, I think this is year 7.
You were the only coach Independence has ever known. Is
Yeah.
that still kind of a cool thing for you?
Well, I kind of feel like Goldie Griffith.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
the originator.
Yeah.
Or he was number 2, but he was
So
there
you're
for-
saying it's going to be McKeown Field there before too long?
No. It depends on who you talk to. It could
That's
be-
right.
Could be McKeown Field or a couple other words that we won't discuss right now.
Goldie Griffith won an awful lot of games, too.
He did a couple state championships.
Yeah.
So.
So there's still a ways to go for that, maybe.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a new era for Independence. You move into a new league. This is the first time. Well, that first varsity year, you were in the what they call the Freeway League with the other new schools.
Oh, wait, we changed leagues?
Let-
This is news to me.
yeah, let me tell you here, you're not going to have to play BHS this year. You're not going to have to play. So
Okay.
you've been looking at the wrong film.
Oh,
You will not see Brian Nixon on the schedule.
all right.
But
Congratulations
seriously,
on that.
is this a good thing? I mean, it gives you a little room to breathe.
It's we're still in a really, really competitive
Right.
league.
It's not like you went to the dregs, but
No. And our kids realize that we're still in a real competitive league. It might not be the grind week in and week out that it is in the SWYL for us, but you got to gear up to play at Ridgeview, Tehachapi, West. All those schools have been in the semifinals or farther. Quite a few times over the last few years.
Right.
Golden Valley was really young last year, and they're going to be greatly improved. And I know Coach Fanucchi is going to do great stuff over there at East. So it's still going to be a grind. It's probably not going to be as big of a grind, but it's still one heck of a league.
is it a better fit for where the program is right now for you guys?
It'd probably better fit, because we were a Division III school playing a Division I schedule, but we got moved up. So it's about a Division II league with a upper echelon Division III schools with Golden Valley and East.
Right. And of course, Ridgeview, who you played every year anyway, is kind of a neighborhood rival.
Yep.
May have their best team ever. I don't know how. We'll see if that is actually true. But man, that's going to be. I mean, every time you play them, they're tough. But that's now they add a guy who's pretty good in the backfield too.
Yeah. Coach Manning does a great job with those kids over there. Ridgeview, for the last 5-6 years, have been one of the powerhouse schools in the Valley, and especially in Division III. So, we've played them every year. First game, we always opened up with them, and this year will be a little different because we end with them.
Well, let's talk about your team. You do lose some guys, but there's also quite a bit coming back in places.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about?
I'm excited at our senior leadership that we've shown during camp. Jordan Wiley, who returns our quarterback last year, he's really kind of turned the corner. He's grown up since, these last 3 weeks and kind of taken a more leadership spot within the offense. Jalen Somerville's done a great job during camp. Ben Ochoa, Paul Fields, kind of our glues that were around last year are back. And so I'm really excited about to see what kind of leadership and growth we're going to be able to make this year.
One of Trevor's favorite things to do is create nicknames for people, and he came up with one for Jordan today already.
I did?
Didn't you say he was the Wile Coyote or
Oh,
something?
yes, the Wile Coyote. Can you
All of his nicknames make me roll my eyes somehow.
No. It's the name, and then it's the fact that he's 6'4", almost 200 pounds. But yeah, this is a guy that can still bust it out of the pocket and run down the field. You said that he's made a big step forward this offseason. What is it that's really kind of – I mean, is it his leadership? Has he learned to maybe stay in the pocket a little bit more, better reads? What is it about Jordan, and how good can he be for you this fall?
Well, it was a combination of things with Jordan. Jordan, he grew up a lot this offseason. So his leadership skills have improved out of practice. His technique and his attention to detail during practice has been a lot better. But his understanding of what we want to do is better than it was last year. So he has a greater concept of what we're trying to attack within the run game and the pass game. He's getting more freedoms as we go along, and as long as he keeps making these great decisions, he's going to be able to gain more and more freedoms throughout the year.
Seems like if things go well for you guys this year, Jordan and Jalen both will put up some pretty big numbers. Is that safe to say?
That would be nice.
That's the plan. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the plan. We got a few other running backs that are in there competing, but if those guys can kind of hit their stride and early, I think we got a chance to be all right.
Coach, what are we going to see offensively without giving too much away? I've always thought you've done a good job of changing your offensive scheme to your players. Like when you had the best player in town, Preston Hodges, you were able to get the guy the ball when you needed to as a quarterback. And then you've been able to change from that as different personnel come in. Without giving too much away, what are we going to see offensively, or what can we expect to see from you?
Well, you'll probably see us throw the ball a little bit more than we've had in the past. We had a pretty good set of skill guys, and with Jordan being able to throw the ball and run the ball, we're going to be able to take advantage of his unique skill set. But as a former offensive lineman, we're never going to get away from the run game.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer you're going to run the ball, you're going to win a lot of games. And so, this potentially could be our best offensive line. It's our biggest offensive line we've had since we've been there. So, I'm excited to see what this whole offensive group can do together.
That was actually my next question. Was up front. I thought you had a lot coming back too. How many of those guys are returning starters?
We returned 4 guys.
That's a luxury.
Yeah.
That's something you don't see every year. And so, can you add more because of all the returners you have? Do you make the offense a little more multifaceted, or do you stick with what you know?
We do what we do. We might tweak a little bit, but the core of what we do doesn't change year in and year out. I learned, early on, it's, you do what you do and you just do it really well.
Right.
And try to keep it simple and be very good at it.
Coach McKeown was the offensive coordinator at BHS, where they've kind of turned "we do what we do" into a state championship. Yeah. So that's a pretty good place to be coming from. Let's take a look at Independence's schedule, and this is what we've got. You guys don't have the Week 0 game, which I think a lot of coaches like having that extra week. Are you one of them, or would you rather have the bye in the season?
I think it depends on the year. Our first few years in the SWYL, we took our bye right before league play to kind of rest up. But it's nice to get that extra week of practice where we can kind of focus on special teams a little bit more and be a little more well-rounded going into that first game.
And Arroyo Grande, people may not know, but they're good.
Yeah.
They're very good. Yeah. I don't know how much they have back, but they've been good for years now.
Yeah. They compete. They're over on the coast. They're right there with the Tascadero, Paso, some really good teams over there at the coast. And so, our first 2 games.
Yeah, you follow that up with Frontier, and South's no joke either, by the way.
No. I mean, people say, "Oh, you happy your schedule's a little, not as intense?" And I look at it and I say, "You crazy?"
Yeah.
We got some really good games coming up, and we scrimmage Stockdale.
Right. There's a big one looming there to me, like just kind of sticking out. The October 10th one.
Yes.
Tehachapi.
At Tehachapi.
Yeah. League
going
opener,
up into the mountains.
Really going to set
opener.
the tone. And to me, just looking at it, the winner of that game automatically becomes the threat to Ridgeview. Obviously, you can't ignore West. You can't ignore Golden Valley and East. But to me, that's obviously I'm allowed to speculate. You'll stay away from it. But that's what I'm looking at. And then to end the season with Ridgeview is pretty special too. I still say one of the best high school games I've ever seen. I hate to bring it up, but it's that semifinal game from a couple years ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that was one of
that
was one of the crazier games. And Justin, I'm sure you remember it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there were so many swings of momentum in that game, and Ridgeview, of course, ends up being the ultimate heartbreaker. But is that fun to have them Week 10? Is it cool to have that kind of traditional rival now?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we've opened up with them every year, so that's been fun to start our season. That's a good kickoff, and I'm going to enjoy playing them Week 10. Because it's the weather's turned and it starts getting a little colder.
Feels like a big game.
Yeah, and then it's football season, and you're like, all right.
It's dark at kickoff.
Yeah, it's at 104, and you're like, all right, we got to push this game back to 8 o'clock because of the weather.
Right. Well, speaking of which, we should actually announce, while the show is still young, that they did announce a doubleheader for Week 0 today out at Bakersfield College. Ridgeview and Frontier will be playing at 6 on August 29th, and then followed by Bakersfield and Oaks Christian. They're saying 8:30. Yep. Here in the newspaper business, we pray that they kick off right at 8:30, and it's
not going to happen.
No. Yeah.
But tickets are
6 on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's actually going to be on Friday.
On Friday,
nice.
That's going to be Week 0, and they've announced the tickets for adults are $10, and for students it's $5. And as far as I know, I don't see how you can clear out the stadium, but sounds like a pretty good deal for 2 games, 2 marquee games.
Yeah, I hope it's not 110 that day, because then they won't be able to even start at 6. But it's going to be fun. And, it's the Kern High School District in BC. For a long time, people have been clamoring for them to get this thing together because that's a great stadium to watch high school football, and they have done it. So.
And we will still be live at 11 o'clock, regardless how late that goes, because our fearless leader, Lewis, will be back in studio to start the show off, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lewis actually has Lewis actually has the ability to clone himself. So, Sean, final thought. Year 7, you said, of the program, and it's been a lot of ups and downs for you guys. You've had some good years, some years you probably, took your lumps more than you would have liked. Where is the program right now? Is it where you want it to be at this stage?
I think we're right about where we want to be. A consistent program. We're winning consistently when we play within our schools, and that was one our similar schools.
Right.
And that was one of the goals that we had, was to be competitive with similar schools that we had that we play year in and year out, and to have that slow transition up to division. So this year we move up to Division 2, and if we have some success, maybe we can move up to Division 1 someday. But I'm happy with where the program's at. I'm happy with our coaches and kids do a great job, week in and week out, year in and year out, and so I'm excited about this upcoming season.
Well, the rising program in the southwest of Bakersfield, Independence High School, and Coach Sean McKeown, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And good luck this year. We'll be right back on BVarsity Live.